For a while now, we've had a problem within the trophy community, a plague that's reached a point of self-aware titles such as press X for trophies. But the question really is, do we have a problem? And if so, what can we do to fix it? But before you back out of this video, dislike it and berate me for how bad my hair is, I think it's important for me to establish the core difference between these easy games, a system that I call the 3 tiers. So I think it's pretty vital to this opinion in general, so just stick with me. Working in reverse order, the most common easy platinums are what I call the casual plats. It's games such as Marvel's Spider-Man, A Ghost of Tsushima, or Guardians of the Galaxy. These games excel at delivering a blockbuster experience and don't ask much from the average gamer to earn that juicy plat. And in many cases, these are the games that indoctrinate the casuals into our little cult. Stepping down a peg, we have the infamous grubs as so titled by El Peanut Bro. We all know them and we all love them, at least most of us do. They're usually published by companies such as Ratalaika Games or Annapurna, and they provide some of the easiest platinums on the store, ranging anywhere from 30 minutes to several hours. But they pale in comparison to the latest scourge to haunt our storefronts. It's that damn shovelware. These so-called games are the embodiment of handing over $1 or $2 for a fairly empty platinum experience. I literally refuse to buy one of these titles even for the purposes of content creation. So here's something I whipped up earlier because this is how much I'm against these titles. I will not pay into this problem. And there's a clear difference between these tiers. Whilst Ratalaika Games can award the platinum relatively quickly, these titles themselves are just that. They're games. Setting the trophies aside, a lot of these games are pretty rad. Some of them tell compelling stories that are so heartwarming, or they simply remind you of the old school days of gaming. Whilst I'm pretty confident in saying these trashware titles offer no intrinsic value to a gamer without the trophies. If you can honestly say you enjoy holding the button to bounce a nugget on 10 different stacks, then I'm honestly happy for you. But we all know what these apps are used for, and I'm so confident that no one enjoys them for the gameplay itself that I would take Homelander's Star Spangled Banner from the man himself. This brings us to the overall effect this has on the community that we love so much, and it's honestly more startling than you think. Now, we all hunt our trophies for varying reasons, whether that be a percentage goal, a pure platinum count, or leaderboard position, and these apps have really hurt the latter group in particular. The sad truth is, if players want to remain competitive, they have no choice but to waste valuable money, and more importantly their time, on stack after stack of this trashware, which leads to people resenting the habit or quitting entirely once they no longer enjoy the process. And it doesn't stop there. If you're active within the community, you've most likely seen people express regret and resentment towards their own profiles, saying such things of, "I'm embarrassed by my profile," or "Is my profile good?" This is the exact opposite of what we want people to be feeling when it comes to our hobby. When you hunt trophies, you want to feel accomplished and proud. You've achieved something, you've earned something. And the sad reality is these shovelware games only deliver a temporary dopamine fix that for some people sadly becomes an addiction. It doesn't only affect us though, because as we saw with the PlayStation Store recently, these shovelware games were pushing legitimate releases down the list. The influx was so strong, a new game could come out, 2 days later it's 5 rows down. This was a shambles, and thankfully Sony did fix that. And although we don't know the full details for the PlayStation Stars program, this also presents a possible road bump for Sony, as one of their core features is a monthly roundup which allows people to play any game they want to be eligible for rewards, which it could cause some issues, and it's a headache Sony don't need. So if you consider the pros and cons of these apps, it's clear to see that they cause more harm to the community than good. They exploit a portion of our community, either through an addiction or fierce competitive leaderboards, and it's all purely for profit. There's no passion, no soul, it's just predators. But the question is, how do we cure this plague? Well, I think I've got a few valid options that would no doubt fix this entirely, with varying levels of severity. Let's start with no doubt the most unpopular. It's the nuclear option. Now, yes, I know, banning apps from the store is a dangerous precedent to set. It's a murky territory of who decides what is worthy, but with some common sense, this is still viable, although definitely not my preferred route. The road I would take would be for Sony to finally establish an integrity to their trophy system. They've kind of had it before, but it's been really murky and behind the scenes. We've never got the proper details, but if they finally instituted a proper system, it would fix this entirely. If you dig around enough, you'll find rumours on why some games such as Max Payne, Resident Evil 4, or perhaps the worst of all, Hitman 2, a game with well over 100 trophies and a hefty 100-hour time commitment, all of which come without a platinum trophy. Some claim this is because the developers didn't include enough trophies to account for a platinum, or simply didn't request a platinum trophy to begin with, whilst other times developers have requested one and Sony refused. With the upcoming Stars program, it's clear Sony is taking our hobby a whole lot more seriously, so why not restore the integrity of the system from the ground round up. It simply makes no sense that I can unlock a cheap platinum on a piece of trashware but only get normal trophies for doing everything in max pain. But again, it comes down to who decides what titles get a platinum or indeed any trophies at all, which is dicey territory to say the least. Regardless, I think the best way to combat this would be to remove trophies from these shovelware apps. They're literally not games in any sense, and I'm willing to bet the removal of trophies would bomb their sales by 99% if not completely, and I'm certain it'd make for a healthier community in the end.